The biggest hurdle you need to overcome for a successful fat loss diet is hunger. And that's because at least 80% of the weight loss equation is eating less. I'm never hungry on my diet. Well, okay, are you losing weight? My scale will not move. That has been stuck for over a month. So would you call your diet successful? Or while some hunger is completely natural on a fat loss diet, and it could even signal that you're in a moderate calorie deficit, good, because I am freaking starving all day long. Man, if I could just eat something already. Yeah. Maybe you should, because starving all day isn't a moderate deficit. But as I was saying, some light hunger is okay. But if hunger that's out of control leaves you thinking about food all day, every day, that's a problem. Because even if you can white knuckle your way through another starvation diet for now, it won't be long until you find yourself face first in a huge pile of crap food and you won't even know how you got there. Before I get to my 3-step system to control hunger, I need to be honest, because the title of this video promised you that my system is better than Ozempic. But I've never tried Ozempic or Wegovy or any of the other popular GL1 receptor drugs on the market. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them or with anyone who takes them. Come on, tell us how you really feel. No thanks, I'd rather not be canceled. But I also know that these drugs aren't always the miracle shots that the media makes them out to be, because they make some people nauseous and they leave some people way too full to hit their protein goal. Plus, they're expensive and not always accessible. Not to mention, if you don't take time to learn the right lifestyle habits to keep the weight off, not even Ozempic stands a chance in your battle of the bulge. Because I've seen plenty of people who gain everything back once they stop paying attention to food quality and quantity, because this miracle drug temporarily took away their hunger. So for anyone who wants an alternative to weekly shots, let's talk about how I control hunger naturally during a fat loss phase. The first step of my 3-step system is adding intermittent fasting into my routine. But here's the thing, even though I originally lost over 100 pounds with a low carb and fasting combo, I had to quit fasting altogether once my hormones had enough, because continuing to follow popular influencer advice to keep pushing my fast longer and longer and longer only led to migraines, exhaustion, and weight gain. These days, a lot of those same influencers are giving a big old oops, my bad, because I'm not the only one whose body freaked out from fasts that were too long and too stressful. But I had to figure out on my own before all of the other influencers jumped ship. Once my body healed enough to tolerate moderate fasting, I worked my way back up to a 14-hour fast. And I stayed there because anything longer than 14 or even 15 hours puts me right back into that constant fight or flight mode. After I went back to a no eating rule after dinner, which is somewhere around 6:30, and then I don't eat again until somewhere around 8:30 the next day, I noticed just how much intermittent fasting helps control my appetite. Even fasting only 14 or 15 hours per day makes it easier to naturally eat less at meals. And since I no longer have a 6 a.m. protein shake, that's close to 300 calories saved first thing. While there are days that I have minor hunger pains while fasting 14 or 15 hours, that's easy enough to control with a few tricks. Since I eat my biggest meal at dinner, I don't really experience hunger before bed. My morning routine of starting the day with caffeine helps with energy for a brisk morning walk. This is a great morning combo since both walking and caffeine makes great appetite suppressant. Once I'm done with my walk, I drink some carbonated water, which holds me over for the hour or so wait until it's time to eat. If for some reason this early morning combo fails me, and I do have hunger pains early in the day, it's really not that big of a deal since morning hunger pains are easier to control than feeling too much hunger at night, because trying to fall asleep on an empty stomach sucks, especially since I can't use the same tricks that stave off hunger at night because caffeine too close to bed disrupts sleep. And drinking too much water after 7 keeps me up all night. And if your sleep sucks during your fat loss diet, you need to do everything you can to maximize it, because if you don't, you are definitely limiting your progress on the scale. I already mentioned the second step of my 3-step system to controlling hunger, and that's using caffeine early in the day. Well, it's better to wait up to 2 hours after waking to take caffeine, especially if you experience adrenal or stress issues of any kind. I usually wait about 30 minutes since I use the caffeine to put more pep in my step during my morning walk, which helps me get closer to my fat loss goals. Since I don't want to overdo caffeine because while some caffeine can suppress your appetite, overdoing it leads to shakiness, cravings, and hunger, I sometimes use a few of these Get Lean pills from Body Health. They contain 100 milligrams of caffeine, but they also have Hoodia, which is another gentle appetite suppressant. So once I'm ready to eat, I pop one of these while making breakfast. And while these don't zap my appetite completely, it does give my appetite suppressing hormones a boost. On days I use these, I only take one Get Lean before breakfast and one before lunch. I avoid them too late in the afternoon since, as we just talked about, caffeine too close to bedtime creates another set of problems entirely. Hello, you paying attention? If you don't want to add another supplement to your routine, there are days when I change out my afternoon dose for a low-calorie coffee shake instead, since caffeine has similar appetite suppressant effects. And when I also add in this prebiotic fiber, my hunger is almost non-existent for even longer. If you're not used to taking prebiotic fiber, you may need to work your dose up slowly to avoid any digestive distress. You can also take the prebiotic fiber on its own with just water, but just to warn you, it is not quite as tasteless as the bag claims. If you do want to add another supplement, since the supplement gives an extra boost of appetite suppression, you can use my affiliate code in the description to save 15%. One thing to keep in mind is, while adding this supplement helps with hunger, it is not Ozempic. So don't expect to not have any hunger while using these. But that's not a bad thing, because even though you have goals to reach, you still need to eat enough for a sustainable fat loss plan, especially enough protein. While sitting around eating cereal and ice cream while watching the scale drop is also a dream of mine, I've done this weight loss thing enough times to know that that is not a plan that'll work forever. And I don't know about you, but I am sick of quick weight loss plans that only work for so long before everything comes back. Sure, you can lose weight faster by completely crashing your metabolism with another low-calorie diet that's completely void of nutrients, but how's that worked out so far?
Not well, bitch.
So while this appetite suppressant doesn't completely kill my appetite, I find taking one before breakfast and one before lunch keeps my hunger in check enough that I eat less throughout the day. But self-control and discipline are still required. Because do I want a side of chips after my 400-calorie buffalo wrap? I mean, sure, who doesn't? But the wrap leaves me full enough, and breaking that association that I have to have something crunchy with every meal helps me stick to my calorie budget during my fat loss phase. And if I truly do need something crunchy, then I'll just have a high-protein snack later. The final step in my 3-step system to controlling hunger is protein. But not just any old protein works, especially in the morning. While it's true that I aim for 30 to 50 grams of protein in most meals and snacks, mostly because hitting my protein target of at least 150 grams of real food protein per day helps considerably with hunger, my morning protein choice leaves me feeling fuller longer than other protein options throughout the day. There's just something about eating 100 to 150 grams of egg whites that lowers my appetite, making it easy to go 4 or 5 hours before my next meal. Now that I'm back into a fasting routine, I typically fast until somewhere between 8 and 9. Even though my breakfast pozito only adds up to 300 calories with 30 grams of protein, I usually won't eat again until I get my kids from school at 2:30. Maybe some days I'll have a high protein boost in between, but I usually try to get as much work done as I can while my kids are at school, which doesn't leave a whole lot of time for eating. Thankfully, this pozito and stay busy combo helps keep calories low until later in the day. Since I prefer a larger meal with dinner, I love that the egg whites keep me satiated for so long, because even though I'm fasting, calories still count. So if I'm not also mindful of how much I eat, then I will easily overeat, which means all of the hard work I'm putting in my fat loss plan, it makes me feel like a drunk hamster on a wheel. Wait, are drunk hamsters even a thing? I mean, if they are, that's probably animal abuse, so I need to cut that out, because I especially don't want to get canceled by PETA. Those people are vicious. Also, the quality of calories counts too. Since I'm eating less, it's even more important to eat enough muscle-sustaining protein from real food sources, because just going longer in between meals won't work for most people. Same thing goes with only eating more protein or just getting more exercise. And even if changing these habits does work at the beginning, does your fat loss plan put you at risk at regaining everything back? No? Yeah, I didn't think so either. At least not until my scale started going back up and nothing could stop it. Well, at least until I got strategic and found the right system that guarantees consistent weight loss. And you can learn all about my 4-step system that helped me drop 40 pounds last year, even when nothing else worked, in this video.